Hi everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Uh, Sorry for having to wait a few minutes before I was able to come live. Yeah, so we are discussing management of diabetes and lifestyle disease and diabetes and hypertension. Diabetes and hypertension. Um, Welcome, Jerusha. Welcome, Marianne. Mercy, Sharon, with cardiomyopathy. Okay. Hypertension with okay. I will respond to that, Sharon. It so many times I feel like I'm back in my anatomy classes. Okay. So we'll start with the basics. Jerusha, we even Marianne is in a premiere. So what we'll do, you'll jump off and then you come back. You come back and hopefully you'll still catch up on the discussion. So don't worry. It will be a long one because it's a long topic and I've started late. I'm so sorry that I've started late. Um yeah, yes. I hope my light is okayish. Kindly like and share the video. Is it okay? My light. Well, yeah. So yeah. Marianne, welcome. When you are done, I have actually just let me actually just see. Mm, it seems like my screen resolution has changed, but like the video resolution. Okay, but it's good. It's all good. Welcome. Uh, I've seen a very interesting question from Sharon. Where? Yeah. We will try and respond to it. So, um, today we are discussing how to manage diabetes and hypertension through diet and exercise. Through diet and diet and exercising. So those are the two major ways that we can manage hypertension by making deliberate lifestyle changes such that we are adjusting both what we eat, how we eat, and hmm, the best lighting. Well, that's better. Sharon, I hope you're still here. So that you get the response to your question. She has a very interesting question about um, managing hypotension on clients with my cardiomyopathy. Those are terms that I'll have fast to clarify what they mean. But let's start with understanding what is diabetes, what is hypertension, and then we get around now to discussing how to manage them. Because yeah, that's a good flow of things as so you first understand what they are, and then we go to how we can to manage them. Sounds fine. All right, so yeah, that's a good layout. Good. Sorry, now we are set. So we'll start with let me first hide this question and also this caption. But the caption is okay. Kindly subscribe if you're new here. Uh, yes, so that you will not miss any new video that is uploaded. So yeah, let's get to it. So both diabetes and hypertension are lifestyle diseases, which is becoming what we call a pandemic. This is something that has really, really bothered so many people in the world over. So, we know like when COVID came, it was declared a pandemic. So, this is something that affects a very large population at the same time. All right. And I'm going to be sharing some statistics with you so that you understand the magnitude of the issue we are currently dealing with, which is diabetes, obesity, and hypertension. We call it, these three mostly occur at the same time. So when you face them, or when you have one of these conditions, you are at risk to get the other ones first of all. And then so if you have, for example, if you have diabetes, you are at a very high risk of getting you're at a very high risk of getting what? Of getting hypertension. And then if you're hypertensive, you are at risk of getting of okay, if you're obese, you're at high risk of becoming hypertensive. If you are there again, if you are obese, you can still become diabetic. Unfortunately, you can still become diabetic if you are hypertensive. Yeah, so those are issues that you find. These three come together: the obesity, diabetes, and hypertension. They occur together, and then now the prognosis or how it continues is that now you might develop other deficiencies, you might develop issues in your body like arthritis. If you are really obese, your feet, your knees might not be able to sustain that weight. And you find that now you are suffering from arthritis. That is the whereby your bones hurt, your back hurts, and all that. But um, uh-huh. But you can also find. So let me. Yes. Okay. You can also find that you develop diabetes just from childhood, what we call childhood onset. But ideally, or most times, is diabetes is brought. It's when you develop it in adulthood uh, or adulthood onset, you find that it adulthood onset diabetes, what we call it type 2 diabetes. It will be brought about by your lifestyle. Okay, so we have type 1 uh, that is brought about when you are a child, and type 2 that comes about when you are an adult. So you require to use insulin injections, and also you require to be on a very strict diet so that um, you don't suffer from you don't suffer from those hypo, like when your blood sugars are very low or when your blood sugars are very high. So you either require insulin tablets, you require to have insulin injections, or to be on a very strict diet. That's for type 2 diabetes. So how have these conditions or diseases become, how do these conditions or diseases become a pandemic, or why are they called a pandemic? I've said it's because they affect so many people in the world over. And then they also they also bring about implications that you can't easily manage. Like if your blood sugar is high, you don't know, you'll be having issues that you can't even tell. Like you might not realize that you're diabetic, and you if because it has no sign, there's no real pain when you're having the disease. Like you won't feel pain, you will feel, maybe you might feel uncomfortable, you might feel dizzy, you might feel thirsty. When you have type 2 diabetes, if you have hypertension, you might have very major headaches. But other than that, you won't have any pain, you won't have anything else affecting you. You understand? So that's the issue with these lifestyle diseases. The same for hypertension. You might have some headaches from now and then, or you might feel like there are times when you are really tired, but other than that, you won't have any other symptoms. So they're kind of silent diseases, and they're called silent killers for that reason, that you don't realize that you're actually suffering until it's kind of too late, and now you have to really seek urgent care, or or you're taken to the hospital when it's really bad, like when the condition has really already worsened completely. So Uh-huh. So diseases like diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular diseases, and they all stem when they are adult onset, like diabetes adult onset. They all stem from from the food we eat. So Marianne, welcome back. So from the foods we eat is what dictates the outcomes of these lifestyle diseases. So if you are used to eating foods that are high in fats, high in carbohydrates, you are at risk of developing these diseases. So what I want us to discuss is how to use food as the remedy or the medication for these diseases, both in managing and preventing these managing existing these conditions among clients or preventing them from occurring. Okay, thank you, Jerusha. Welcome back. We have a few minutes before Jerusha, you have to drop off. You said we have like 10-20 minutes. It's okay. You will still find us here. So that's the issue about lifestyle diseases. They are brought about by your lifestyle. They are mostly don't have like those extreme symptoms. You won't be coughing or you won't be feeling like a lot of pain until it's at a point whereby it's now really advanced, or you're being admitted to a hospital because your blood sugar is too high. You're being admitted to a hospital because your blood pressure is too high. Welcome, Alice. Welcome. So now, um, oh wait, it already jumped. So I will start with the hypertension, not hyper. Hypertension is whereby your blood pressure is too high. Iko juu sana. Your blood pressure is too high, and you find that Mercy is here. Mercy, welcome for staying on. Thank you for staying on. Sharon, thank you for staying on. I really appreciate your presence here. So you find that cardiovascular diseases or heart diseases are those that affect the heart and the heart system. So the heart system is the heart itself and the blood vessels. That is the arteries, the veins, the capillaries, the valves. You remember that biology that we did? So the valves and the heart muscles. So anything that affects the heart is referred to as a heart disease. So hypertension is only one condition. Okay, hypertension. Let me. I'm still here. I had just removed my, what is it called? Myself from the screen, but it's okay. It's okay. I can just have that tiny self over here. So when your blood vessels are blocked, yes, Alice, I think now, I hope now it's clear. When your blood vessels are blocked, or you find that yes, they are blocked by cholesterol or anything else that might block them, you find that you find what you develop hypertension. But that's not the only reason that you develop hypertension. You can still develop hypertension sometimes because of stress, sometimes because of pregnancy. So all those are different conditions or different reasons why you can develop hypertension. So it doesn't necessarily mean that every sort or every form of hypertension is brought about by lifestyle. There are people who will have high blood pressure. Hypertension is basically high blood pressure. So there are people who will have high blood pressure because of maybe mental health issues. Maybe they are too stressed, too depressed, and they develop the hypertension. Someone also, if you are pregnant, you can easily develop hypertension if you have, again, if your weight is too high, mostly if your weight is too high. Okay. All right. So uh I hope now I'm clear. I hope now I'm clear. If you see my just my slide, doesn't mean I'm frozen. I can take myself off the screen, bring myself on the screen, add more people and all that. Anyway, here we are. And just a minute. Okay, so I'm back. Uh-huh. So you find hypertension will develop in that case. If you're pregnant, if you have issues with your mental health, or your diet is really bad and you have accumulated too much weight, and now it's that point where your body cannot pump blood properly to all your vessels or to all your organs. I wanted to share statistics about let me share from this slide. This one. I wanted to share statistics about these diabetes or hypertension. Number one, around 17.1 million people are affected by cardiovascular diseases, which I know I've mentioned the other what? I've mentioned the other conditions or cardiovascular conditions, but the ones that are brought about by lifestyle, they affect around 17.1 million people. And then diabetes affects about 12 million people. So you can imagine that's quite a number of people in the world. And the thing is, it all stems from obesity. As you can see this guy over here, it all stems from obesity. So we have 1.9 billion adults being overweight and around 462 million being underweight. So you can clearly see where the problem is. Is it in underweight? Is it in overweight? Definitely it is in overweight and obesity. And also because overweight brings all these other issues. It will bring type 2 diabetes. It will bring hyperlipidemia, where you have too much fat in your body. It will bring 640.
No, that's not the T number, doesn't exist.
Pigia Shiko, please. Ndia kwa duka. So you find that obesity or overweight will put you at risk of developing all these other things. It can put you at risk of hypertension, put you at risk of osteoarthritis, put you at risk of hypertension, at risk of type 2 diabetes, and sleep apnea, and so forth and so on. So we really should avoid being obese. But if we are already there, what are the solutions? That's what we want to talk about. What are the solutions if you have already developed these lifestyle diseases, these conditions that I've mentioned: the obesity, the diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, the issues with peptic ulcers, cancer, back pain, arthritis, all these issues. So I hope you have understood a little bit more about hypertension. Now, let's see if we can look at, well, the causes, yes, but I want to look specifically. Okay, let me go through the causes and the prognosis, and then I will look at now what is diabetes and how do we manage it. So, all right. So, let me first begin with the causes of basically most of these lifestyle diseases. So, number one is malnutrition, but malnutrition is broad. Malnutrition refers to inadequate intake as well as excess intake. So, when we are looking at overnutrition, it is where we are dealing with excess intake of nutrients, excess intake of carbohydrates, excess intake of fats, excess intake of basically of anything that will result to overnutrition, which is a type of lifestyle disease. And then we also have sedentary lifestyle, or having a very inactive lifestyle. Like if you come to the office, you sit, and you don't do much during the day, and you are still eating a lot, that will definitely result in a lifestyle disease. Number three, if you lack or you have inadequate sleep, like you don't sleep well during the night, you will also you'll find that is will also lead to a type of lifestyle disease. All right. Need to keep adjusting my light so it's not casting a shadow on my face. Okay, if you're here actually and you're in Jerusha's house, you can definitely check her out. She's having her premiere now. She's just dropped off so that she can do that. If you're in Jerusha's house, you can check her out. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Kindly, if you haven't, share us out in your community and we shall really appreciate it. Share us out in your community, guys. We appreciate. All right. So lack of sleep or inadequate sleep can also lead to lifestyle disease intake, excess intake of alcohol. Chronic smoking can also lead to lifestyle diseases. Okay, and there's so many lifestyle diseases. Anything like that is associated with your lifestyle is a lifestyle disease. All right, so it could be um infertility caused by your lifestyle. It could be you have alcoholism. It could be you have anorexia, or you don't eat, or you have what is it called, binge eating. You eat too much. All these things. What is it called? All these issues to do with reproduction, hormonal imbalance. These are lifestyle diseases. Okay, I hope you understand that. All those are different kinds of lifestyle diseases. All right, so now we look at the prognosis. Where does it begin? Where does it lead to? Of course, I said it begins with weight gain. Weight gain is just you have gained a little weight, you've become overweight. That is whereby if we compare your height and your weight, you are below, you are above 25. Like your body mass index is above 25. Okay, that is overweight, and then it progresses to obesity. Just a minute. Right, sorry about that. So all these lifestyle diseases begin with obesity. And then if the main accumulation of that obesity is near your midsection, yes, it's referred to as morbid obesity. And then if it is uncontrolled, or when it's uncontrolled, it becomes a risk factor to developing all these other diseases. Um, so we are also streaming live on Facebook at Malkia Nutrition. And I'm just going over here to make sure that it's also going on well. Because we want to reach a really big audience. We want to reach a big audience with this message, and especially during this holiday season. What better gift can we give to people as Malkia Nutrition, if not helping them understand more about lifestyle diseases and what they can eat or should eat to avoid becoming obese, right? Right. So, uncontrolled obesity is a risk factor for developing different lifestyle diseases. Then one of the one of the conditions is now diabetes. So let me explain what is diabetes. Diabetes is whereby, again, due to excess cholesterol in your body, insulin becomes ineffective in the blood cells. So what is insulin? Insulin is a it's a it's a hormone that helps your body or your blood cells, your body cells, to utilize glucose. So insulin helps your body cells to utilize glucose. That is to use it, and if it's in excess, to store it. But now, when there's excess cholesterol, your body cells will are ineffective to the purpose of insulin. Like they don't act as they should when insulin is around. Insulin is released by the pancreas. Is it? Yes, it's released by the pancreas. Yes, the beta cells in the pancreas, they release insulin. But your body cells can fail to use that insulin. When that happens, it means that yes, your body is functioning, but your blood sugar or sugars remain just around in the they remain around in your body, like in your body cells, such that if a doctor does or anyone, an expert does a random blood glucose test on you, like they do a fingerprint and they are testing for random blood sugar levels, they will find that your levels are very high. Your blood sugar levels are very high. And that's where you are either pre-diabetic or diabetic. Pre-diabetic, there are levels. There are different levels whereby your blood sugars should not pass a certain level at a certain time, and so on and so forth. Okay. So if you're either pre-diabetic or diabetic, um, you need to manage that. You need to manage that. And the way to manage that, that the things that we are discussing here today, is that you need to change your diet first of all, and then change your exercise habits. If you are not active, you be more active. If you have accumulated too much weight, how to you work on how to you work on how to reduce that. Okay, just a minute. Okay. So if your body cells are not responding to insulin, you have high blood sugar, which is called diabetes. What are the signs of diabetes? Diabetes, you find that you become very thirsty. You feel the need to urinate so often, as well as general fatigue, because now your body is working overtime to manage to manage the blood sugar that is in the bloodstream. Get it? All right. So that's diabetes. Again, because of excess cholesterol rendering insulin ineffective in the body. So someone will ask or can ask, are these conditions or diseases are they treatable? Yes, they are treatable. They are treatable, and that's a resounding yes. So we work with you to either prevent their onset, or prevent their onset, or we manage them. We manage them with dietary habits, that is changing our dietary habits, as well as having a regular exercise pattern and making conscious lifestyle choices, very conscious lifestyle choices. You cannot be managing hypertension or managing diabetes and you're still not you haven't changed your dietary habits. You're gonna change your dietary habits. You're gonna change your you have to change your dietary habits, as well as changing sorry as well as changing um your exercise routine, like the choices you make. Recently I was discussing with someone what exactly does it entail when I say lifestyle choices. For example, say you're feeling really hungry and you're in town. You have to make a conscious decision to either buy fries or chips, or to go buy a fruit salad or a fruit juice. They cost the same. The cost honestly doesn't change. For example, right now in town, chips are 100 shillings. Fruit juice is 50 to 100. Fruit salad 50 to 100. So you have to make a conscious choice, or even something like meat pie. They are 50, 100 or 120 shillings. So price is not a variant here. you are talking about making the right choice. So do you decide to, if you are extremely hungry, will you eat fruit salad, have fruit juice, or go for meat pie, or go for some French fries? So that making that conscious decision, uh, making that conscious decision that I'm going to go for a fruit salad as opposed to eating a plate of chips. But those lifestyle adjustments, do you have them, or do you choose to eat healthy often, or do you eat unhealthy more often? Okay. So, and then a continuous thing, you don't just do it once, but you do it over time. And then in that, now your habits have changed and you're able to eat healthy, like subconsciously now you're making healthy choices. Right. So diet relates to what we eat, the individual ingredients, what we eat. Hi, Helen. It's like left with my house here because I can tell one device is from my co-director, and that's my other device. So people were joining Jerusha Mombo's premiere, but I think it's almost over, and then they will be back. But in the meanwhile, you can share us out in your community and we'll really appreciate. Oh my goodness, Tyrone is here. Welcome, Tyrone. Tyrone is so supportive and I really, really appreciate um you being here, Tyrone. Give me just a minute. So I'm back. Yeah, Jerusha will be back after her premiere. She was having a premiere, but she will be back. Tyrone, welcome. People are in Jerusha Mumbo's house, I think. She was having a premiere, but we are here and we are continuing. Right. So I was talking about diet. It's what you eat and how you eat it and when you eat it. All these three things are very important because you will go on a diet. Maybe you found something on the internet and it is telling you what to eat, but it's not telling you how to eat it. It's not telling you when to eat it. Okay, some do tell you, some do not. But diet composes all that. The food you are eating, when you are eating it, and how you're eating it. Like the combinations, how is the combinations? Like, are you going on a low carb diet? Are you going on a high protein diet? Are you going on a low fat diet? All those things, right? So what are you eating? How are you eating it? And when are you eating it? Then exercise constitutes, is it 20% of that lifestyle change that you're doing, but 80% is food. 20% is exercise, 80% is food. So food is definitely very, very important. Obede Helen, bring your friends over here. Anastasia and Gladys and the whole office, they need to be here because this is where I answer all those questions they have during other live streams. Yes. So exercising, you can start with as little as 15 minutes of cardio every day. Cardio is whereby you are really feeling that your heart rate is going up. You feel that your heart rate is going up. And when that's the case, When your heart rate is going up, you're most likely going to sweat or feel the exertion. Feel the exertion on your muscles. That's what cardio refers to. You can do it, start with 15 minutes, then increase it over time until you get to a point where by now you're doing 30 to 40 minutes of exercise 5 to 7 times in a week. That is 5 days to 7 days in a week, right? So you start with 15 for a few days in a week, and then you progress and get to 30 to 40 minutes every day or 5 days in a week, right? Remember to share us out, like the video. I really, really appreciate it. So once you have made a dietary change and you are working on your exercise patterns, now you're in the right track, or you're on the right track to reversing those these dietary diseases. So people ask me, all these supplements in the market, do they really help with the management of non-communicable diseases or lifestyle diseases? They do help. They do help, and you do need supplementation. The only thing, there are a few factors that have changed. A few factors have changed. Number one, the food we are taking right now, the composition has really, really changed from whole foods, like foods that have everything. Oh, Alice is back. Welcome back, Alice. Food that had everything, like think of the whole maize that we used to eat when we were growing up. It was wholesome. But now we are eating highly processed foods. Unga that is double, triple refined. I see those things on the packet and I'm like, wow, triple refined, what does that even mean? You have removed everything that was good and healthy from that food, and you have left like a shell. You have left a shell of it, which is, it's not very helpful to the body, by the way. If you have removed everything and you've just left the shell of that food, what good is it doing? What good is it doing us, really? Marianne is back as well. Welcome. So that's one thing that might make the supplements not work as well as we thought or as we intended. The other thing is our dietary habits have changed. The foods that we are eating now and when we are eating them has really changed. Even right now, it's lunchtime, yeah, or almost lunchtime, but I'm having a snack because I'm here and I haven't prepared, or there's actually, yes, some ready food, but I'll have to eat it like much later into the afternoon. So our dietary habits have changed because I talked about what, when, and how. So my when today is affected because I'm having a snack at lunchtime. That means my lunchtime will be pushed to a later hour. Then our farming practices have changed. And, most of the food comes from the farms. So if our farming practices have changed, now we are using too many chemicals, we are using too many pesticides. That means they precipitate into the food, and eventually these residues that are in the food that we are eating, like in tomatoes, they accumulate in our bodies. So there's no way a body that has already accumulated toxins will be able to even utilize supplements that you're taking. So that is also something that has changed. Leading us to number 4, the bioutilization of nutrients. How is the body using the nutrients that you're consuming? Because the availability of those nutrients has also changed. There's something that we call food nutrient interaction. Like you have eaten sukuma wiki, fish with lemon slices. Why is it recommended that way? Because those foods being in your body or in your tummy will help, one, with the absorption of iron and other vitamins and minerals, and these oils from the fish when it's eaten in that combination. But what happens when you are eating fish with cabbage and something else. Most nutrients will not be absorbed from the fish because they will be blocked by cabbage, nutrients from cabbage. So those interactions, we also need to understand them and to know that when I eat this kind of combination, some nutrients will not be available, so they will not be utilized in the body. All right. Then the environmental factors have changed. Nowadays, our environment is fighting us. There are so many diseases and so many bacteria and things just floating around in the air, causing us a lot of harm. Causing us a lot of harm. Even COVID was airborne, still is airborne. Not even about the diseases. Think about the pollution levels. There's a time I used to work near industrial area, and I realized that my sinuses, my respiratory system, got really affected. I would get a cold every other day. So eventually I decided, even before, it was way before COVID, I decided that I will be using a mask when I'm going to work and when I'm getting out from work. And people would look at me so weirdly, but I knew why I was using the mask, because the air is quite polluted. And then when you get to town from Inda, you put unashukishwa, you alight down there, like uko chini, and you have to walk through town, and there's so many buses, so many exhaust fumes that you get to breathe in. So I decided, I got a cloth mask, a thick cloth mask. Interestingly, they were available in the market. There's a shop. There's a shop that excuse me, just a little. Back, everyone. You can see people are coming in. So I was saying our environmental factors have changed a lot. Even the water we drink, it has a lot of precipitate. And those precipitate, there are things called heavy metals. I don't know whether you have heard about them. Heavy metals like mercury and lead, they bind uh, they bind food or nutrients in our body such that those things will not be utilized as they should. So when you put together all these factors, mm, when you put together all these factors, you find like our bodies are not the same as our parents' bodies. They're not the same as our grandparents' bodies. We have changed. Our genes have changed. The body composition has changed. There's also the fact that nowadays we don't cook food through and through. Hmm? We are too busy with life. You want something that is easy to prep, and it's no problem. And even me, but even if I'm a nutritionist, I'm also a researcher, and I'm a food scientist actually. I'm a food science nutritionist. What does that even mean? It means I'm interested in food science, in the processing of food, in the manufacture of food, and how it is utilized in our bodies. That's what it means to be a food science nutritionist, because you have human nutritionists who basically deal with how now this food is in your body, how is it being utilized, and then you have we have specializations with diet therapists. These are someone who will make you a diet that is through and through, and it will help you to recover or get back to your usual natural self, like where you should be. So in nutrition, you have specialists, specialization in human nutrition, food science, diet therapy, and community nutrition. So for me, I'm a food science nutritionist. I'm interested in the processing, the manufacture of food, and that also entails research. So I'm really currently planning to continue. I started my master's, then I paused because of life. So I will continue with my master's, and in food science and technology, or food safety, uh, which will go into food safety, because we need to eat safe food. All these things that we were talking the other day about GMOs and what is good and what is bad, what can kill you faster, what will prolong your life, all these things. So let me move this. So now the foods that we are eating, we want them to cook as easily as possible, which is okay. Because even me as a food scientist, I'm developing products that will take the least time to cook, like beans that will boil and be ready in the shortest time possible. A friend of mine has worked on noodles for children, this like Indomie, that will cook really fast and make sure that you're able to have your meal ready in like 15 minutes. So all these factors affect how, if we take supplementation to manage lifestyle diseases, how they will work. Will they really work? Won't they work? So some they will, sometimes they won't. Depends on what you're eating and how your body is. Okay. So we have talked about obesity and the ranges. So if you're above 25, your body mass index is above 25, you are overweight. If it's above 30, you are obese. If it's above 40, you have a condition called morbid obesity. Now, this is where I wanted us to get to. This is where I wanted us to get to. But the thing is, I need to take a break because I'm on this live. Today, my colleagues are super busy. My colleagues are quite busy. Like my co-directors, not the other nutritionists that I bring as panelists. So first of all, I'll put some music, and then I want to put some music. And then I'll take a break, and then I'll come back now and we can talk about the products, as well as a diet plan, like an example of a diet plan that you can use to manage different kinds of diseases. And if you're there and you want to come and ask your questions live, you can click on that link. Stacy, welcome. This link, yes. So let me pin it. If you want to come and ask your questions live and interact live, you can come up and we can talk. Okay, I will leave this on the screen. Don't worry, I'll put it back. So I will come back now and talk about the different products and how they help to manage obesity, to manage diabetes, and to manage hypertension. Sawa sawa. So if you are there and you want to come on the panel and ask your questions live, you're welcome to do so. In the meanwhile, you can look at the slide over here as I take a gulp of water and think I have a little bit of energy now to continue so that um, you're not here for too long. So yeah, yeah. It has also given me time to catch up on the charts. So here we are. Yeah, we start with obesity. We have talked about what obesity is. It's when your weight goes beyond normal. Merian Karibu. It goes beyond normal, and you are first of all you are overweight. Your BMI is above 20. It's above. It's above what? Yes, above 25, and then it's above 30. You are obese. If it's above 40, you are morbidly obese. So what do we do about it? Yeah. Number one, we need to adjust what we are eating. Of course, we need to adjust what we are eating. Stop, if you are obese or overweight, reduce or stop consuming, uh, what do you call them? Empty calories. Empty calories refers to foods that are not adding any benefit to your body. Something like fries, honestly, those things will not, they are very sweet, but they won't add much to your body because they have been deep fried. So you have killed most of the, or you have destroyed most of the, you've destroyed most of the what? You have destroyed most of the, what do you call them? The vitamins, the fat soluble vitamins, the ones that can't stand that high heat, they have been destroyed. And then what? So you are not getting any fat soluble vitamins. Most of the minerals are destroyed. So what you're getting basically is a lot of carbs. So if you're obese or overweight and want to lose weight, high fat, high those empty carbohydrates, you should really avoid them. Mandazi, chapati, all these gluten things. Then go to what? Rice, ugali. Just reduce or avoid them. Reduce or avoid. Okay. Kindly like the video and share it out. We want more people to come. I know it's si masaa mazuri, but for me or for us, this is our work hours. So we have to do this during work hours. We try to do it at night, but shughuli ni mingi, my friend, shughuli ni mingi. So for first of all, adjust your diet, go on a low carb diet or avoid carbs, carbohydrate completely. Then go on a low fat diet. Do as little fat as you can, and then use the good fats. Or the good oils. I've discussed before the difference between oils and fats. If you can. Now, people tell me mafuta yenye iko kwa clear. Oh, let me use English. That oil that is in clear bottles, like olive oil, sunflower oil, is expensive. Well and good, it is expensive. But I always say, look at it in a wholesome way. Look at it in a wholesome way. First of all, the difference is not much in pricing. If it's much, it's not more than 200. That's number one. Number two, look at it on a long-term basis. What are the benefits when you are able to eventually, when you are eventually able to achieve a healthy lifestyle? It means you won't struggle with hospital bills. You won't struggle with any lifestyle disease. You will be in a place where you are healthy, a place where you are thriving. You're not taking sick days or off days to go to the hospital and all that. So your health spending, or even if it's like insurance premiums that you pay, they are reduced. Like, look at it on a broader perspective, people. Let's try and look at it from a broader perspective. Is that 200 price difference really worth all these hassles that come later on? But yet again, if you find it expensive, it's good. It's okay. It's okay for you to use the ones in colored bottles. Then over time, transition to the ones in clear bottles. Okay. Okay. I said we are also streaming live on Facebook as Malkia Nutrition, and we are really enjoying all this streaming and learning and talking and sharing because it's important. So one, you change your diet to so low carb, low fat. Yeah. Then number two, try and exercise. Exercise for 15 minutes, increasing it progressively over time. Number three now is where the products come in. So you see, I didn't start with the products because if you just pick the products aimlessly or blindly and you use it together with your former life habits, it won't have that big of an effect. And you start asking me, oh, it's been a month, I've not seen any changes. Oh, it's been sijui how long, I've not seen any changes. Yes, you have not seen any changes because you have not changed anything. Simple and clear. You haven't changed what you are eating. You haven't changed your exercise routines. So if nothing has changed, why would you be seeing changes? It's that simple. It's that simple. I'm not being harsh. It is just that simple. If you have not changed your dietary habits, you have not changed your exercise habits, please don't buy our products. Please. It's just like that. There's no need. There's no need. If you are not changing, there's no need for you to take our products. You will go and shelf it after some time because like the packet I've put here for chia seed can go up to 6 weeks. And if you use it for 3 days and then you tell me it has no change, you'll just shelf it and it will just get spoiled in your house. And then you'll come back to the shop and tell me, oh, I had bought chia seed, it didn't work. So if you're not willing to change your dietary habits, you're not willing to change your exercise routine, just avoid. Yeah, Marianne, just avoid buying our products. Me, I don't sell supplements, by the way, because people think supplements are miracle working drugs. They are not. They require a lifestyle change. So if you're not, we can't work as Malkia to bring you nutrition information, to bring you a psychologist to support you, and then you still buy our products and you tell us that they are not working and you are the one who hasn't changed. By the way, if you're in that category, just avoid it. Just avoid buying from us. Anywho, now we are in number three talking about the products. So you have changed your diet, you have changed your exercise routine. Now you can use the products because these ones they help your body to utilize to like break down the cholesterol. They help your body to utilize the stored carbohydrates and all that. Okay. So there's chia seeds. Chia seeds will curb your appetite. They swell up. They absorb water, so they will help you feel full for longer. And they also clear cholesterol from your blood vessels. They will break down cholesterol from your blood vessels. So that's how chia seeds work. Simple and clear. They help you feel full, so you don't eat much. And then, if you are taking them with the right kind of diet, they will help your body to utilize the stored cholesterol and the stored carbohydrates in the body. How do you use chia seeds? Put them in a glass of water, let them soak for 10 to 15 minutes, then you take that water. If it's water that you drink all day, just prepare it in the morning, then go with it. If you're going to work, go with it wherever you're going and keep sipping it throughout the day, just like that. Then if you're not necessarily using chia seeds for weight loss like we do in this house, you can add them to your breakfast cereals, you can add them to your porridge, you can add them to your baked goods. Why? Because they are good for your body. They have vitamins and minerals. They have oils that are the kind of oils that we want, the high density lipoproteins, the good oils basically. So chias are not just for weight loss, They are good for your general body immunity. Helen, yes, if someone is not changing their dietary habits, if you're not changing your exercise routine, I honestly do not prefer you to take our products, because I don't want people coming and or even sharing out there, oh, mimi nimejaribu chia seeds hazikufanya kazi. Wewe ulifanya kazi gani wewe mwenyewe? Before the chia seeds work, what did you do yourself? Hmm? You have to do something yourself before the products can start working. Yes, it's just like that. Then seeds, fenugreek seeds, they control your appetite again, because they will give you that feeling of satiety, kushiba, umeshiba, you're not feeling hungry, because fenugreek will, one thing, they release signals to your brain that tell your brain that you are full. So you're not feeling hungry because your brain knows you are full. And that's something that fenugreek does. It is also a fat burner. It breaks down any and every stored cholesterol in the body. Got it? Yeah, so that's fenugreek. It's the best among, I don't know, chia is there, but number one for me, or for what we have learned as Malkia, is fenugreek, then chia seeds. Okay, chia seeds is number two for us, fenugreek is number one. Stacy, fenugreek is also, if you're still here, Stacy, fenugreek is also a very, very good hormonal balancer. Hormonal balance, say, I just mentioned it. When your body, when you consume something like fenugreek, it releases, what is it called? In a release signals, or it sends signals. What they are called? What, I'm trying to remember the biological term. It is escaping me, but it sends signals to your brain that tells the brain that we are full, or stop producing a certain hormone. It's enough. Like if it's for hormonal balancing, if it will help your body to know, we right now we don't need something like oxytocin. We need something that will make us feel excited. Fenugreek has the ability to do that. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Higher, 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 higher. Helen, once I finish this, I will organize on your order delivery. Yeah, it will get there before the person leaves the office. So don't worry, don't worry. He will get it. He will get it, and he will get it to you. All right, all right, all right. Number 3 is baobab. Baobab also curbs your cravings. These products, basically how they work is they tell your brain, do not release a certain signal, or do not release a certain chemical, because we have it in adequate levels. So the thing, baobab will help you curb your appetite. You know, all these things are controlled in your body. They are chemical signals or hormones, or what do we call them, stimuli, that is sent from one organ to the other. Signal sent from your stomach walls to your brain to say that we are hungry, we need food. Like me right now, all those signals are misfiring because I'm feeling hungry. I am hungry. But that's how they work, that's how the products work. The black seed, the active ingredient in black seed, let me remove this caption so that you can see everything. The active component in black seed boosts weight loss by affecting expression of certain genes that are related to appetite control and fat loss. That's it. Ukisha manage up, the other becomes very easy. I've already talked about what type 2 diabetes is. If you didn't hear that, just go back a few minutes. Okay. So managing type 2 diabetes, what we want to do is to curb the intake of unhealthy fats by using good sources of fats, and then we control the diet and we lose excess weight by exercising. Evo. So if it's your paro, remember what I said, diet is 80%, exercise is 20%. So don't worry too much that they can't exercise. First of all, help them to get on a healthy diet. All right, someone like Helen and Gladys, just first of all get your paros to do what, to change their diet. Avoid nini, power off, avoid those carbohydrates that I talked about, and then use, we call them low glycemic carbohydrates, carbohydrates that release sugar very slowly into your body. Ndoma, ngwashe, cassava, mwaga, all those things. Yams, let me say them in English. Ndoma is arrowroot, ngwashe is sweet potato, mwanga is cassava, if I'm not wrong. Then there is yam. What else? The whole meal, unga. Unga yenye ni ya kusiaga. Then what else? What else? What else? What else? I'm forgetting. Brown rice, if they can. Actually, I've never eaten brown rice myself. I will buy it. I will buy it, so I talk from experience. Brown rice is also good. Then yeah, like substituting, making the right substitutes. I feel like the most empty calories that we consume, okay, they're not necessarily empty, by the way, because even like right now I'm eating cookies. It's not that they're empty calories. It's only that if you are obese or overweight, they don't do you any good. Get? I hope so. So change your diet, and then that is low carb diet. Then avoid the unhealthy fats. If you can buy your parents the good kind of cooking oil, go ahead and do it. If you can buy your parents olive oil, you can buy them almonds, you can buy them cashew nuts, you can buy them walnuts. Kindly go ahead and do it. Help them to control their diet, portions, and everything. They are so helpful. And then just encourage them to walk. Walking is the best exercise, guys. Just walking. It's not running, it's not jogging, it's not going to the gym. But where is Alice? I wish she could be here to share her journey on how walking has helped her to lose postpartum weight. Baby fat by walking 15 to 30 minutes every day, and she has lost it. You guys check out her channel. Alice Ridho has been able to has lost a lot of weight just by walking. Okay. All right. So just encourage your paros to walk. It's nothing big. It's not as a gym subscription or anything. Just walking. Okay. That's the only exercise they can do. Well and good. If their legs are still hurting and they can't walk, okay, now talk to me. We shall devise a way for them to exercise. This is general. I'm trying to generalize it as much as possible. So what products are good for diabetes? Baobab fruit powder, fenugreek, flax seeds, and moringa. How do they work? By number one is just by helping your body to, one, to break down glucose well and to have it utilized well. Number two is to stop the absorption and the storage of glucose. I think I'm getting tired. I'm feeling I'm feeling it from the way now that I should end this soon because I'm hungry, I think, and I'm getting tired. But basically, management of diabetes, what we want is for glucose, like the when you eat food, how it releases the blood sugar. We want it to release the blood sugar slowly. All right. Then blood sugar is released. We also want it to be absorbed in the right amounts. And if it's not absorbed, it will be utilized in another way. It can either be stored. The glucose is never. This is the thing with gaining weight, by the way. Let me tell you what happens. Glucose or starch or carbohydrates are rarely excreted in the body in form of poop. Starch, there is something we call roughage. Roughage, like when you eat Weetabix or Githeri, they have a lot of roughage, something that is not digested in the body. And that's what is excreted. But the one that is digested, the glucose, will not be excreted from the body. It will be stored. So glucose will be stored in the glucose is the simplest form, yeah. So there's a oh my goodness, there's a process that I don't think I understood it even now. Maybe I'll have to study it now. It's called gluconeogenesis. It's how that glucose is converted and it becomes fat or cholesterol. So that's what happens. Starch, carbohydrates will never be excreted from your body. They will be stored. So what do we want with management of diabetes? We want this glucose, most of it to be utilized and very little of it to be stored in the body. That's what we desire. Then like flaxseed, it helps, like when you eat or when that patient eats, their blood sugar doesn't go just shoot up to 30 something and then drop to 3 after a few minutes. No, there's that glycemic response. Glycemic is just moderated. My internet is misbehaving again. Yeah, so that's the idea. Sour. So those are the products for diabetes: baobab, Greek, flaxseed, and moringa. And these are not all of them, by the way. This slide was just highlighting them, Yeah, then there's hypertension. I've already talked. Okay, let me just go back here and just mention that now the cardiovascular conditions that we hear or that we might know of is heart attacks, myocardial influx. That is when you're but then we are trained as doctors. We are trained to work in hospitals as nutritionists. So when I get to start using all these big terms, kindly pardon me. It's because it has been drilled into us. And I talked about human nutritionists. We are trained to work in the hospital. We are trained to work alongside doctors, and we have to understand all these medical terms that are used. But I try as much as possible on this channel to simplify it. I don't, when I talk about glycemic index, I want you to understand what it is. It's the rate at which blood sugar is being released from the food you have consumed. When I talk about myocardial influx is just whereby your heart has missed a few beats. I see, you are in love. Ati, I saw you and my heart skipped a beat. Not that kind. Not the not that kind, my friend. That's not the kind of It's not the kind of skipping a beat that I mean. So heart attacks, it's when your heart is basically unable to pump blood. And so for a certain period, it's straining to pump blood to the vessels. And in that straining, you feel a lot of pain, a lot of pain. And for some who are unlucky, it ruptures the vessels. Okay, it ruptures the vessel. There's a medical term to that. Or if it doesn't rupture the vessel, it expands the heart. It's just think of it this way: you have water in a jelly can, and you're trying to transfer it to another place, and you're using a pipe, maybe of a certain diameter. All right. Uh, so uh, this jerry can also has a pump, all right, like inside it, and you switch on the pump, aiming for it now to move this water from the jerry can to the intended destination, right? But the vessel, the pipe that you're using, is a bit blocked or clogged, yeah. And if that's not the case, you find that yes, it's clogged, or it has become narrower, and now the say you have some restrictions. You don't want that water to flow back to the jerry can. So this is the work of the valves. Yeah, the valves are there to block the backflow of blood. Then now you switch on the pump. The pipe has become narrow, and the valves have also weakened. So what happens is when you switch on that pump now, which is your heart, it's trying to force blood through this small pipe, or this water through this small pipe. It's straining. So the heart, the pump, doesn't necessarily know how to stop. If your heart stops, you are dead, right? So your heart doesn't know how to stop, or it shouldn't stop. The pump shouldn't stop unless you're undergoing a surgery, open heart surgery. So heart attacks is when now your heart is so strained that it has stopped for a certain period of time because it was trying to force blood out and it didn't happen. Yeah. So that's a heart attack. Something else that happens is a myocardiac influx. This is whereby your heart skipped a few beats. Those it skipped a few of them because again it was strained, or the vessels to which it was sending blood were a bit clogged or something. Yeah. Then you can have an enlarged heart. If your heart is used to straining too much to pump blood out, it might just think, and the heart acts independently. It acts independently of the mind. That's why oh my goodness, this now ties back to psychology. That's why you feel with your heart and you think with your mind, because they are kind of disconnected. They are connected but disconnected. Okay. But like the workings of the heart, they are not controlled by the mind. They are unconscious. The heart beats unconsciously. It like you don't know about you don't have to think about your heart beating, like I'm thinking about talking, or I'm thinking about using gesticulations. Okay. So the heart muscles and everything, all those cardiac muscles, they work independently. Now when you skip a few beats, it's called a myocardiac influx, and it's also kind of painful. You might or might not know it. Then the heart also, if it's used to holding too much blood at a particular time, it might also start expanding or enlarging. And we don't want it to enlarge because it has only a very limited space within which it should fit within your chest cavity. So if your heart is becoming enlarged, it's also another problem. So this is what cardiovascular diseases pertain to. Whether it's you might get a heart attack, you might get an MI, a myocardiac influx, you might get a enlarged heart or clogged arteries. Arteries and veins, of course. You remember the ones that take blood away from the heart are the arteries. The ones that bring blood back to the heart are the veins. Okay. Now, Management, basically, it's by lowering cholesterol, by losing weight, cutting down on sugars, using low glycemic foods, and avoiding trans fats. Trans fats are mainly fats from animals, mainly. So you avoid them. And the main cause of of hypertension specifically is mostly weight. So if you manage weight, you reverse hypertension very easily. Yeah. The products I didn't write them because they are basically the same. They are basic. They are basically the same. If you manage your weight, hi Lobito, welcome. If you manage your weight, like you lose weight because you're when you lose weight, you are losing cholesterol. It's nothing. It's nothing big. Hi Ike. Kiai is in Kawangware. Hey, Ike, welcome. I think I'm hungry and tired, so I was almost going on break. But let me finish this thought. About cardiovascular diseases or hypertension. Oh, do like the video and share out, please, guys. Lobito and Kiai, so that you can get more people joining us. Yes, and if you have a specific person who can really benefit from this video, kindly just share the link directly to them, not even in our YouTube communities, just share it directly to them, because those are the ones we are targeting, and most of them are not even on YouTube, so they are not content creators, they don't know. Mm? So how do we help them? Just share the link directly to them. Of course, once we end the stream, within a few, like 3 hours, YouTube will have processed it and they can rewatch it. They can rewatch it even immediately, but it's best when the processing has finished. Now I feel a bit of energy. It's like you new guys joining have given me a little bit of energy, and I will look into. Um, let me just finish about hypertension and see if I can address Sharon's question. I think Sharon left. I don't think she's here. Uh, yeah, she's. I don't think she's here, but she had a very interesting question, which I will try and answer. But it's quite technical. It's quite technical. Anyway, about hypertension. Yeah. Wait, Ike, you're not? No. Who is in Kang? Oh no. Sorry, Ike. I confused you with something TV. Oh, there's a guy who's just here and he keeps asking. Anyway, there's a YouTuber who stays around here. Ike, where are you joining us from? I think I saw the word media and I confused you with someone else. Oh, and I've just been spammed. Oh my goodness. Which account is this? Kama uko na spanner, kindly, quickly help us clear the chat. We have just been spammed. Oh, thank you, Helen. Thank you. Thank you. Let me just report them. I help Google and YouTube by reporting them so that they can put in the right restriction. Oh, you're watching us from Texas. By the way, Ike, well, is Texas near Oklahoma? Because sorry, Lobito. I hope she is well, or she will be well. And thank you for going to donate blood for your aunt. And I hope she gets well. Do consult us if needed for post surgery care and diet. Okay, so Wait, my internet had dropped at some point. Maybe it's because of the the spammer. Yes, EK. So I have relaz in Oklahoma, and last year I joined a session whereby they were talking about how high the rate of cardiovascular diseases has increased in the state, in the Oklahoma state, because of the dietary habits of the people. And apparently, they did a research and they found that that what that one African, what are you guys called, African Americans, American whatever, sorry, not whatever, but African Americans, people with our African heritage, if I can say that, are are more predisposed to gaining weight, to becoming obese, and then they're more predisposed to getting hypertension. And it's true because I could see from the people who had joined the call, it was on Zoom, most of them were obese. And now it was a meeting by the American Heart Association, and they were discussing how they can help households or individuals to lose weight, because when you lose weight, you manage hypertension. When you lose weight, you manage hypertension. And the sad thing was, like, even the kids were obese, not hypertensive. Even the kids were obese. So it's a household thing. It's the whole house. The grandparents are obese, the parents are obese, and the children are obese. I don't know whether that's the same in Texas, but that was in Oklahoma, and yeah, that was held in Oklahoma. And thought it's quite an issue. I don't think in Kenya we do have high obesity rates, but not as high. But now the other sad thing is we are converting our dietary habits to include those fatty foods, which eventually will lead us to a state whereby we become quite obese. And amen. Yes, Lobito, we are hoping for the best surgery outcome and even recovery post surgery, and hope that your aunt will be well. All right. So I was saying, if we change our dietary habits and we eat what the people in the West eat, we will get to the problems that they have, the obesity, the hypertension, and everything. Ike, if you're still here, just tell us, is it the same case in Texas? Are people obese and suffering from hypertension? Um, Given the surveys that we have done so far as Malkia in terms of hypertension and dietary diseases, actually, hypertension and obesity are almost at the same level. We get clients who have both conditions almost in the same percentage. Like watu ni wagonjwa, by the way. Hypertension, obesity, and diabetes are very common when we do our medical camps. By the way, we do our medical camps. We haven't done any medical camp this last quarter as us, but our partners, Bright Diamond Alliance has done several medical camps in the western region, in Siaya, Kisumu, Migori. Those, yes, they have done quite several um, medical camps in the western region. I think for us, we'll resume doing medical camps in March of 2023, God willing. In the meanwhile, you can invite us to your locations, your um, churches and schools, so that we can come. We do free screening for those three conditions, actually. So check your BMI, we check your blood pressure and your blood sugar levels, and also we have some specialized tests that will check on deficiencies and arthritis. Uh, those ones at a cost, sometimes at a cost, sometimes free. So we'll resume those from March of next year, God willing. So Ike says Americans eat a lot of junk and in large quantities. Texas is worse. Wow. What? So you mean like Texas could be worse than Oklahoma? Yeah, because you guys eat a lot of nyama choma, roast beef or barbecues in Texas. Yeah. And it's always accompanied by fried potatoes or whatever, and so many dips and so many carbohydrates are served together with the roast beef. Yeah. It's sad. Uh, Actually, I don't get excited when I see these international food outlets popping up everywhere. I don't want to name names, but in my residential area, there are two international brands. Two. So you can imagine in this small town of ours, which was a sleeping town, it's okay, Lobito. Oh, Teresa is premiering at 2. I will check her out. Um, what was I saying? Oh, I've seen these international food outlets. Two of them have popped up in our small community. But there I work in Westlands, but I don't live in Westlands. Now this is my small community where we have two that have popped up. In Westlands it's even worse. These are international brands, so there is no problem if I mention them. We have KFC, Domino's, we have Pizza Hut. We have like so many places for fast foods, and not mentioning our own small Kimbadaskis where they do chipu, they're not even chipomitu. Like in town itself, there's so many outlets for fried potatoes, chips, burgers, or all that. So I can predict, unfortunately, that in the next 5 to 10 years, we might be having the same problems that are being experienced in the West. It's a fact. I'm sure EK a few years back, the rates of obesity weren't as bad as they are. It's okay, Helen. Actually, I can also check her out. Or let me go on break. Let me go on break and take some more snacks. Ike, I'll put some lovely music. And I will be back to finish discussing management of hypertension. Then we will end it. All right. Nimepunga maji. Is that how you say it? I've drunk some water. So now I'm back. I think my colleagues or my friends will find us where they'll find us. So I was saying how our dietary habits have really changed, and the problem is that eventually we'll have we'll transfer our the Western problems to ourselves. I wish we were emulating the East. I wish we were emulating the Chinese, and because or the Koreans or the Japanese, because they eat a lot of vegetables. They still eat a lot of meat, but they also eat a lot of vegetables. Yeah, they also eat a lot of vegetables because, and also the way they cook their meats, they have a lot of spices put into them. Actually, how I've learned to use the spices, the fenugreek, the fennel, the dill, and everything, I've learned from some Indian channels like Cook with Najma. I've learned from Cook with Najma. Um, I've learned from who else? I've learned from Indian communities how to cook with these spices. Mm? Uh, I wish those are the ones we were emulating. I wish we were getting more Indian joints popping up or like something because they eat better. Mm? They eat much better than we do. That's just a fact. They eat much better than we do. But here we are eating what we are eating. And Malkia Nutrition is in the front line telling people to stop embracing these new pop-up joints, pop-up food joints. Okay, not really stop. You can go there for luxury. You can go there once in a while, but it shouldn't be a daily thing because the foods are high in carbs, high in fat. Like, tell me what fast food joint doesn't have that. Tell me, I'm here, I'm listening. There are very few. So, if you can limit the number of times you eat in those joints, well and good. And also, let's teach our children that eating in these joints is not necessarily fancy or admirable. Today, eat there. Tomorrow, take them somewhere else where they can eat something that is nicely cooked, but something that is nicely cooked, but what do I mean? Oh, Emmanuel, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness, welcome for being here. For example, let me share from what we do. On Sundays, we eat at it's still a big brand, so what? Why not? We eat at Naivas Food Market. Um, what do we eat? We get chicken fried rice or cashew nut rice, or they have different kinds of rice that have meat in them or cashews, yeah. And maybe sometimes we go to Sarit and eat. Even in Sarit, we don't eat burgers, by the way, or pizza or French fries. We okay from Sarit. I like Chicago something because they have an Indian they have Indian recipes, and these Indian recipes uh they are spicy. One thing, they are very spicy. The good thing with spicy food is that the spices help to break down the oil or the cholesterol in the food. So that's why I like the spicy Indian meals, and so on and so forth. So our baby, or yeah, our child, okay, they're not a baby, our child has learned that that's the fancy thing we do on Sundays. Yeah, That's the fancy thing we do on Sundays. We don't go to get chips and chicken, like deep fried chicken. We go get some rice, which is usually so tasty. And from time to time, oh yeah, the other thing we eat is fish nuggets. And from time to time, he can have, but he doesn't even love chips, by the way. Do you know our child has just learned from us? He doesn't love chips. He also doesn't love store-bought cake. He doesn't love biscuits as such. We do a lot of cookies. Like now I'm eating cookies, but um we don't necessarily do biscuits, by the way. So he has learned, like he won't enter a supermarket and go crying for crepes or biscuits. So, and he's barely 5 years. So by the way, you can also train your child or children to embrace healthy eating habits. Okay, to embrace healthy eating habits. uh just a minute. So yeah, we can teach our children, and um also take them into nice schools where they get to eat nice meals. Yeah, I not school. By the way, schools are our next target area. We want to go to schools and help them try and cook healthy meals for the kids, because have heard of schools that do sausages, and then there's another day they do chips, there's another day they do burgers, and I'm like, this fanciness will not really help your children. It really won't help your children, because eventually eventually eventually, what a health outcome will that child get eventually, by the way? Anyway, back to this. Let me pick a phone. Sorry about that. So I was saying, these fancy meals that people are eating in schools, children are eating in schools, eh, I don't see the fanciness in it, by the way. I just don't. Maybe it's me, but I don't. Yeah. So, um, yeah. So, uh, basically managing hypertension or cardiovascular weight. It's about bringing down your weight by cutting down on your sources of sugar, eating low glycemic foods. I've mentioned them, something like arrowroot, sweet potato, cassava, yams, wholemeal, unga. Even potatoes are good. They're not so good. Like the way we do stews with potatoes, that's okay. Just not deep frying them. And then you avoid trans fats, from animal proteins, and yeah. So basically, if I do a meal plan for you for managing hypertension, this is what it entails. So don't expect to find mandazi or cake or something like that. Mm-mm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the next one. Mm, I don't think I'll talk about arthritis today. Mm, arthritis is another condition, another lifestyle disease that affects the bones, mostly when you have too much weight. Well, not necessarily, but it happens when you have too much weight. Because your bones, your joints are not able to sustain the weight. Uh, so when you have too much weight and your bones are not able to support the weight, you can have painful joints. But normally, arthritis is when a joint or one or more joints are inflamed. Inflammation can occur because of so many reasons. It could be the synovial fluid, the fluid that lubricates the joints is too it's reduced in quantity. It could be calcium is leaking from your bones and the cartilage is becoming small thinner. There are so many reasons, by the way, why your bone things are thins or your joints start to pain. So the one that is dietary related is lack of calcium and obesity. So when your food does not have enough calcium, when your food doesn't have enough calcium, you are at risk of developing you're at risk of developing what? Arthritis. But also, if you are obese, you're at risk of developing arthritis. Why? Because one, you have too much cholesterol, which will inhibit absorption of calcium and other really really nice minerals that your bones need. Because your bones don't only need calcium; they need magnesium. They need what else? They need all the other minerals. Your body needs all the other minerals. So cholesterol blocks their absorption. When that happens, means you're not as strong as you should be, and your bones become brittle. Brittle is they can easily break. Yes, they can easily break. This when you find, unfortunately, if someone who is obese and they on the onset of getting arthritis, if they fall, they break several bones. And you, who is generally healthy, if you fall, if you fall at the same place, that won't happen. You get? So that's what it means. When I say that your bones can break it easily or they are brittle. So rheumatoid arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis is when that lubricating fluid becomes inflamed and reduced. It expands in volume, not reduces. It expands in volume. So when that happens, you start having joint pains, a lot of joint pains, and it can get aggravated. Oh, you're back, Helen. Welcome. The premiere has already ended. Anywho, welcome back, Helen. Um, if the lubricating fluid is usually called synovial fluid. So when the synovial fluid is inaisha, see it inaisha, inakuwa inflamed. It gets like an infection. Uh, when it gets an infection, and this infection not in the way that we know infections can be anything from it's not having the right composition or constitution, it's not adequate to lubricate that joint, and so forth and so on. Right. So that's rheumatoid. Then there's another one called osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is where you have little calcium. Yeah. Now, medically, and if you are a doctor in the house, you can correct me. But medically, arthritis has no cure. It doesn't really have a cure because but you can still help your body to, if it's osteoarthritis, to get the right amount of calcium. If it's not osteoarthritis, it's rheumatoid, you can help your body to get the right level of what, of lubricating fluid. Sawa. This can happen through a good diet, or you can get supplementation, calcium supplementation. So if it's a good diet, it has the right foods, the right herbs, the right seeds to address the inflammation. Uh, yeah, so this was showing what these are healthy joint. This is one with osteoarthritis. So you can see that there's a leak, there's a breakage here on the bone, on the cartilage. There's a breakage there. So for arthritis, for arthritis, how you manage, first of all, because the inflammation causes a lot of pain, we first deal with the inflammation. One thing that I haven't put here is clove powder. Cloves are very, very good they're very good in dealing with the inflammation and with the pain. So if you're in pain due to arthritis, um, the first thing that you should get is the first thing that you should really plan on getting is what do you call it, cloves, to help manage the pain. Then also, if you have turmeric, use it in your water, in your food. Turmeric is a good anti-inflammatory agent. So if you have turmeric, kindly use it. And then now for fats, you need the healthy fats. The healthy fat, or the good cholesterol, they will help your joint to produce the right. They will help your joint to produce the right kind of fluid. The fluids, because what are fluids basically? It's they constitute some what do you call oils in the body? Collect not fatty acids. Yes, they constitute some fatty acids. So when you are consuming the flaxseed, the pumpkin seeds, the avocados, the chia, and your body is digesting them and the right oils or fats from that, they help with the joint. So also something like pumpkin seeds has fiber. Fiber helps to reduce inflammation. Then there's also ginger. Ginger is an anti-inflammatory. And then there is stinging nettle and moringa. All these green powders and neem, they are rich. They are, first of all, they are anti-inflammatory, but they're also rich in calcium and this green element, chlorophyll. Yes, chlorophyll also helps to not chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll is the green element in plants, but when something has the green element, means it has calcium and iron. When those are present, it means that your body will be able to absorb them in the right way. So stinging nettle, moringa, and neem, as well as baobab powder, they are rich in calcium, and your body needs that calcium. So if you are supplementing, you do supplement with those ones. And that was it. Now, I think this was about the questions. There was one very big question, and I will, hey, I will extend. I should extend for a few minutes. Cause. Wait, let me see. Find the question. It's in the chat. It was among the very first ones. This one. Hey. Well, yes. So Sharon, though she's not here, she had asked, how do you manage hypertension for patients with cardiomyopathy? So let me start with cardiomyopathy. If I'm not wrong, cardiomyopathy, let me first Google. But cardiomyopathy is where your heart is enlarged. If not wrong, myopathy, I think it's when your heart, oh, it's a disease of the heart muscle that it becomes harder. The muscle becomes hard, so the heart is not able to pump blood properly. Yeah, well, okay. So cardiomyopathy is where your heart is not able to pump blood because your heart muscles have hardened. Remember, I said the heart muscles operate. They operate when your heart muscles operate independently. They're not dependent on the brain. They, like, your heart pumps without the brain telling it to pump. You get it? So if that's how the heart functions, and your heart muscles have become hard, now they cannot pump blood the right way. So when that happens, you get a low volume of blood being pumped to your body organs, and that's what is now referred to as hypotension. Like the blood pressure is too low because very little of it is being pumped by the heart. Do you get do you get do you get it, people? I hope it's clear. So hypotension is where now the blood volume circulating in the body is low because the heart muscles were not able to supply blood in adequate amounts. Basically, that's what um, hypertension is. So, how do you manage hypertension on patients who have cardiomyopathy? And I said cardiomyopathy is where your heart muscles have become hard, uh, and now the heart is not able to beat as it should. All right. So, how do you manage this? From a dietary perspective, I'm actually not sure. I will research on this. But I know medically that you can have an open heart surgery whereby they change, or they cut out part of your heart muscle and replace it with another muscle, like from your legs or from your hands. They replace that muscle, and then once that muscle heals and integrates into the heart muscle, the flexibility of the heart improves. Like, your heart is not able to beat much better, and okay, like, that's how medically you can resolve hypertension. But there are also some medication or drugs that are given to also help with the same. From a nutrition point of view, I'm not very sure about it. I'm not sure about how to resolve cardiomyopathy, how to resolve hypertension because of cardiomyopathy. But if it's only hypertension without the issues of the heart, like you have a low blood pressure, number one, of course, it's to increase your water intake. Number two is to take to take foods with the minerals and vitamins or ions. Okay, minerals, ions, and vitamins, because um, your heart requires calcium, it requires magnesium. There are usually some channels that require those minerals for to maintain the right pressure, and also for, what do you call it, to regulate whatever is in the blood, to keep the right composition of the blood. You understand? Like your heart requires, there are some channels, they're called calcium something channel, that helps the blood to remain in the vessel, because blood carries different nutrients and minerals and things and proteins and all that. So when you have adequate amount of minerals, calcium and magnesium, the blood flow in the vessels is maintained at the right pressure. Anatomy is interesting. Anatomy is very interesting, but you do require the minerals um, and the vitamins to be adequate in your body, and also the water volume to be adequate in the body. If hypertension is caused because of psychological or mental issues, just try and take a break, take a breather, and uh, yeah, relax, and take a sabbatical if need be. Yeah, that's the question I had seen in the chat. The other ones I responded in the chat section, but let me pin them. Mm, mhm. There's a question from Stacy about hormonal balance. There was where else had I seen a question? But there was a question about hormonal balance, and I responded to it. Jerusha was asking about that for her mother, who is struggling with diabetes and hypertension. And then, where was the other question? If I can remember it correctly, the question was about what? There was the question about painful menstruations, and I said that requires a hormonal balancer or a hormonal mix. Basically, it will have fenugreek, it will have fennel, and CMOS. It helps to balance your hormones. Jerusha, I hope maybe you'll come back and rewatch this. The other thing was about, there's something else I wanted to talk about. I've mentioned all the foods, all the ingredients that are required for obesity, diabetes, and hypertension, and also arthritis, even if it wasn't on our topic of discussion. And then I have talked about the need to manage your diet and exercise. And I said diet constitutes 80% of that outcome that you want, whereas exercise constitutes 20% of you attaining a healthy outcome, life outcome. Um, I will link in the description, or in the description, I will include a summary of the products that are required for each condition, that is um, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and now arthritis. So I'll include that. And then the process of ordering, basically, you can just you can always call, text, or WhatsApp us. You can WhatsApp us on this number 0798 907 154. It's a Kenyan number, so code 254. Uh, if you're not in Nairobi, we can send a parcel to you. If you're in Nairobi, you can pick up parcels in town, in Westlands, in um in Westlands, in Kikuyu, in Karen. Yes, those are current location. Karen is our last location, but it's working so well. It's working so well because it's in an ideal location. In an ideal location where people along Gong Road can be able to pick up their parcels. People, um, people side za Kitengela huko mbele, they can still pick up from there. All righty. Yeah, I'm waiting for questions. I don't know how I will see questions from Facebook, but I'm hoping they will still come here if there are any. Then I will end it in a few minutes. Um, there were people who are here. They were supposed to join back. Not sure if they will. Not sure if they have questions. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna end it in a few minutes now. Right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm just gonna end it here. And then if there are questions, just put them in the comment section down below. I will respond to them. We'll put up the slides on SlideShare. Yes, SlideShare. And hopefully I will include that link as well in the description if you want to go through the slides that I have used today. I had two sets of slides, but I can combine them into one, and then you can just look over them for clarifications or for details. That's it. Bye bye.